Hello, this is Mehmet Sönmez, a teacher of English from Turkey. Today I want to talk about my specific condition, and I want to share my experiences with you. The title of the topic, I think it would be the best, handling with disability. I was born in 1967 as a disabled child. At the very beginning, I was not aware of anything. Everything seemed to me so normal. But when I was 4 or 5 years old, I began to understand I was different from my friends, because they could run and they could walk however they wish, but I couldn't manage that. So my father made a kind of little cart for me to hit and to walk with 3 wheels, and I began to use it as a walking apparatus. I thought at the very beginning, how should I react to life? What my reaction would be? And for a moment I thought, if I consider my disability as a big problem, I would torture, first of all, myself, and also people around me, my family, my sister and brother. And I decided to be optimistic, and I began to live as a normal life, and I was trying to do my best, whatever my friends have been carrying out. Of course, it was still a big problem for me to walk properly. And we moved to Denizli in 1973, and it was a kind of turning point for me. In 1974 I had my first operation. After operation I began to walk independently by myself, and then there was a primary school in our suburb area, which is very close to our house, and I began to attend this school in 1975. After 5 years of education, I finished primary school, and then I decided to go to a secondary school, and it took 3 years of education. At the end of the 3rd year, I finished the secondary school, and it was 1983. I had my second operation, and because of my operation, I couldn't attend my high school for 1 year. 1 year later, I preferred attending to Denizli High School instead of commercial high school in Denizli, because my aim was to be a university student, and I started my education in high school at Denizli High School. After my graduation of that school in 1987, I took university entrance examinations. After these examinations, I deserved to be attendant to Faculty of Education English Department in Samsun. English was a kind of hobby for me because I was very curious about learning English and talking to foreign people. It was very important for me to understand their ideas, their lifestyles, or their cultures, and as a result, I really enjoyed talking to foreign people. After my education, I became a teacher of English in 1992. But if I tell you about my disability again, it was not very easy to live as a disabled person in Turkey because there were a lot of prejudices and first of all, I think I have abolished all these prejudices about me because there was a prejudice among people. If you are a disabled person, okay, you cannot do anything and you are always dependent on others. But I wanted to prove that I can survive my life by myself, even if I am a handicapped person. So, of course, I had a lot of sometimes funny, sometimes sad experiences. Because when I decided to be a teacher of English, when I went to Samsun, I still remember that our one of our teachers told my father why he brought me in this faculty of education. He said my father could find a simpler job for me. But he didn't know about how passionate I was about having a good career of English. So I am really very glad that I managed my education in four and a half years, and when I was educated at the university, most of my teachers witnessed my attempt to learn and to do something new, and they really appreciated my English level because they were not expecting that I could be so passionate about speaking that language. As a disabled person, of course, especially adult people, it is really difficult to persuade them that I can manage many things by myself, because they were thinking that a disabled person is totally dependent on others and he cannot do anything. But I did many things by my effort, okay, by my strong faith to God. Because I always considered my disability as a kind of gift, from God. Because if God created you as a disabled person, there must be a reason for that. And as a result, I accept it as a gift from God. So that gave me a great power to fight with the difficulties, to express myself better in the society. And I have never reflected my disability, people around me, and to my students, to my family, and most of them even never considered me as a disabled person, and they respected me for what I have done in life. So today I am really a very lucky person, because I proved myself as a career, and career was very important for me, because if you're disabled and if you have a simple career, okay, it was not easy to get respected by people. But I wanted to be respected. That's why career was very important to me. After becoming an English teacher, I must tell you that most of the people considered me as a teacher first, rather than considering as a disabled person. Of course, I had some funny or some sad experiences a lot too. And I must tell you that this is really so sad. For example, a very educated person, at least I was thinking that he was educated, he criticized me by being disabled in front of the students, and he almost told me that I must have some attraction in front of the students to be respected. And I told him that I'm not a model. I'm not a model that exhibiting the clothes in the podiums. But I'm a teacher of English, and with my personality, I believe I told him that I believe that I can influence many people about speaking English, or about being a teacher of English like me. So nowadays, yes, I have got some students who are working as a teacher of English like me. So I'm proud of them. At least I had always a hard life struggle, because I wanted to prove that even a disabled person can do many things, okay, by working or by studying, or if he is very eager to produce something new, he can do many things. I wanted to prove that. At least I have been teaching English for 26 years, and it was really very important in my career that I really managed this job for 26 years as a disabled person, because teaching job is not as easy as many people think. In fact, it is one of the most difficult thing that we can carry out, because your material is human being. If you miseducated, if you miseducate some students, or if you educate them in a wrong way, this material will be never useful for the society. And if you educate them in a good way, in a right way, it means that you're training somebody who can serve his country as a soldier, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as a teacher in the future. So everything is in your hand. So that's why teaching job is very important job. And as a disabled person, I'm very happy that I could manage this job with a great success. And I have got really a good communication with my students. And most of them really are influenced by me, by my attitudes, and the level of my English seems them so charming. And I am sure that most of them are taking me as a good example. In the future, if you see more English teachers in Turkey, and if they say that our teacher was Mehmet Sönmez, it will be a great honor for me, and I will be proud of all of them. As a last message, I want to say something. Yes, I'm a disabled person, that's true, but on the other hand, I never preferred giving up. I always have a great struggle with the difficulties, and I overcame all the difficulties. In the future, if people can understand what I have done, I am sure that they will appreciate me more. But today it can be so ordinary for many people. But what I have done for my students and for my family will be understood much better in the future. So if you're a handicapped person, if you're a disabled person, it is not the end of the life. There is always hope. There is always a hope in life. So don't lose your hope to produce something new. There is always something that you can do, although you have got disability. Just remember Stephen Hawking. He was using only his head, but he was one of the most famous scientists in the world. So don't give up. Don't give up. Don't stop studying. Don't stop working, and don't lose your hope from life. So let me tell you one thing more. Disability is really very, very easy. If you solve this problem in your mind, you can find easy ways to handle these difficulties. And also, I must tell you that disability Because I believe that, yeah, I could have a very good career, and I believe that I can do many things, and I managed this, and that's why I'm very happy. And one more thing, when we get disability, when we got disabled, I mean, we always resist against God. Oh, why it happened to me? Why that happened to me? Oh, why only me? Why not the others? If God gives you a disability to you, it's not something that we must regret for it. There must be always a reason if you are created as a disabled person. So we always must consider what God gave us. What a pity that most of the people are considering what God took from you. Yes, God partly took my legs from me, but God gave me a lot of opportunities. First of all, I've got a great ability to speak English fluently, and this is very important to me, I mean, in my life. So and God gave me a great job, and God gave me a great family. So I have many reasons to be optimistic about. So last word I want to tell you, we must see the full side of the glass. What a pity that some people prefer seeing the empty part of the glass. Okay, don't forget, we can be very healthy at the moment, but who knows, maybe we are potential disabled people in the future. Who knows what will happen to you tomorrow. Thank you very much for listening to me.